Michael Jordan, Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, and Albert Einstein are individuals we all know of. Individuals we associate with success, inspiration, and fame. But success stories, as stupendous as these, are formulated only after dealing with the flip side of the coin, failure. It is imperative for us to understand that just as everything is transitory and success is not permanent, failure is not fatal. By the end of the day, it is the courage to rise up and continue that really counts. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the fifth episode of Quanvo, Team Quantum's very own talk show. I am Himanshu Sharma, the design engineer.
And I'm Bhuvi Pandey, the team manager. Today, we have with us Mr. Chetan Jaiswal, founder of mypiku.com, who has a demonstrated history of working in the education management industry. We all recognize him as a successful entrepreneur today, but it will be interesting to know about the events and experiences that led him to become what he today is. Here's what you can expect.
I have studied in 13 schools in my life. And out of 13 schools, I was thrown out of 3 schools because of bad behavior and poor academics. So let me first tell you what entrepreneurial journey is all about. You know, it's like you are actually flying on an aircraft on 36,000 feet, and then you jump from the aircraft and you start building your own parachute, right? That's an entrepreneurial journey is all about.
Right. So the first question is about failure and failure during a particular endeavor. So failure is a very scary word to everyone, but it is a part of success. Broadly speaking, it is what makes life like a roller coaster ride. What is your take on it, especially for budding entrepreneurs and STEM enthusiasts like us?
Right. So when you talk about failure, failure has been very close to me when I talk about my own school journey. I'll just take you back on the time machine to my school days. So I have studied in 13 schools in my life. And out of 13 schools, I was thrown out of 3 schools because of bad behavior and poor academics. Right. And I think that if I remember very well, that I was first failed in first standard. That was the time when I was flunked. And then my failure journey started very closely with me during my school days. So after first standard, I failed in fourth standard, then I failed in seventh standard. Then somehow I scraped through my ninth standard. And the 11th also somehow I scraped through. Then 12th again I failed. So the failure has been very, very closely knitted. But this failure only made me really understand to do an introspection about myself to see, where were the gaps. Was I a dumb child? Was I was not able to understand the subjects, or where exactly I was lacking in? It really helped me to really introspect myself. And today, if you see, after finishing my 12th, I got into engineering, which nobody expected. Even my teachers also didn't expect that I would be getting into a graduation of doing science and getting into an engineering aspect. Then I went on to do my MBA from Cambridge University, Judge Business School. So what I'm trying to say is failure is a first step towards your success, right? It's on you how you look into the failure, and you don't go down, but instead of start doing introspection and see why you have failed, right? You will get hundreds of reasons, but that one reason is enough for you to climb up the ladder of success, what you are really aiming at. So don't go down. It's completely fine. Just get failed. No problem, because every failing step is going to teach you a new lesson. And that lesson is going to help you to go to the next step. So this is what my experience has been with failing. And, it really helps you up to go up. A student like me who has failed so many times, and today if I'm able to do something in my life, I'm sure you all are such a bright kids and you can do wonders.
Thanks a lot, sir. That was a rather inspirational insight into failure. It is said that failure is a stepping stone towards success, and you are definitely a witness that testifies this. We will keep that in mind in life and try to implement the stories that you told us into our own life if we encounter failure. Moving forward, uncertainty is inevitable when you're working on an innovative early age startup. Today, you're a leading entrepreneur successfully running mypico.com. So, what were the initial challenges and uncertainties that you faced?
Right. So let me first tell you what entrepreneurial journey is all about. You know, it's like you are actually flying on an aircraft on 36,000 feet, and then you jump from the aircraft and you start building your own parachute. Right. That's an entrepreneurial journey is all about. That you don't have any safe landing anywhere because you are in a journey of uncertainties around you, and that's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. As such when you are looking around. So when you talk about uncertainties, uh, these uncertainties or the challenges which is going to be coming across you when you are actually whatever you are building up your product, whether it's a STEM product or you're building up your own car or you're selling out any of the product, the challenges will only help you to become more better in terms of product, in terms of operations, in terms of human resource, in terms of revenue, in terms of business model, every aspect which forms an ecosystem of a startup or any of your business what you're trying to build up, right? As I said to you, as in budding entrepreneur, you should be ready to face these uncertainties, because these uncertainties only will make you a unicorn tomorrow. If uncertainties are not there, then you are just going to be like any other business which has been happening around you, and you're not so different from others. So always keep in mind, and again I'll repeat, entrepreneur is like a journey who's traveling in an aircraft on 36,000 feet, and then he has to jump. When he jumps, he does not have a parachute, but he starts building his own parachute.
Thank you, sir. Uncertainties and the fear of unknown is what makes life in any endeavor fun. So, next question is regarding your endeavor. My Pigu is a very catchy and unique name, and I'm sure children find it very interesting. So, how did the idea for this whole organization and specifically the name come about?
Right. So, Himanshu, wherever I have gone, right, people have always asked, this question has been very common from the inception of the startup, what I have been involved with. So first of all, as I told you in the first point about the failure, that's where this whole idea or the concept has been inspired from my own life, where I was more inspired to see that if I have done something in life, there will be many more students who will be facing certain challenges in their early childhood or during their teenage time, and if I can do something to really help them out. So that's where the idea of MyPigu came out from my own experience of my own school journey, which involved a lot of failures into it. On the other hand, MyPigu, the name itself is something which I wanted to create, which, see, first of all, MyPigu does not have any meaning to it, but it's very catchy name for the children, because we are working with the children, right? We work from an age of 3-year-old to 18-year-old, kids. So especially with the youngsters, we wanted some name to be very catchy name. And today I'm very happy to say that when we are working with these children, or when we are really getting involved with these children, instead of calling us by name, they call us the Pigu teacher. So we feel that, we have achieved what we had started this whole initiative, but at least we have been liked, we have been loved by the children. And that's where the name has played a very vital role, that it creates an impression in everybody's mind, what we are trying to do.
Yes, sir. You just mentioned about inspiration that led to mypigu.com, and quite evidently, inspiration is a very valuable aspect of life. But besides that, we come across numerous articles, books that help us shape our life. So, after you had the inspiration, what was that one incident or person that gave you insights into the journey of a startup? How did you start your startup and get insights to make it a successful one in the future?
Right. So, good question, Bhuvi. When we talk about inspirations, so I have always believed that you can get inspired by the things around you. Only thing is you need to have an inquisitive mind. That curiosity should be there in you to keep going and asking questions. Because see, there are billions of problems are around us, and you only thing is those problems need to be solved. Those puzzles are around us. Only thing is it has to be solved. So that can only be done when we start having that inquisitive mind, start going and having an open mindset, going and exploring things. And I personally get inspired by things, everything around me. I mean, there are times when my dog also inspires me in terms of being so disciplined around, and I also get inspired by, my mentors around me who always talk about being more punctual, right? I also get inspired by students. I'm talking about as young as upper KG or lower KG or the first time students, that inquisitivity, what they have, the curiosity, what they have, which always helps me to really keep me on the toes that, okay, fine, I should be ready with the answers, what these young minds are going to be shooting at me, like how you guys are shooting all these questions. And, I need to be prepared with these questions, and how you have to be really open for learning. So inspiration can be derived as an individual person, depending on you and your personality, what you're looking at. But I firmly believe that you should be open enough to learn from everything, because everything around you will teach you some or the other lessons, which is going to help you to grow in whichever aspect of life you're looking at.
Thank you, sir. That was really inspiring to know that how you can learn some things from your juniors also, and even children. So now coming to the next question. Often as entrepreneurs explore ways to develop their business, they have one goal in mind: success. Is in the early stages of the career, they want to have high profit margin and be successful. Is this the really right mindset? Should they expect a lot of profit in the first few stages of their endeavor, or be ready to face immense losses?
Okay, so Himanshu, when we talk about any of the business, right, the right mindset over here is, let's not think about how much successful my venture going to be on the initial phase. The question should be, what is the problem, and am I solving a problem? Right? That should be the first question which any entrepreneur should be answering it. What is the problem, and what solution do I have? Am I really adding value to that particular problem, or in terms of driving the solution to? Now, once you have already identified the solution, which becomes a need for everybody, you have already become a successful. Your already margins, profit, everything, you're going to follow it. But if you're not able to identify what is the problem you are trying to bring the solution, then whatever money you're going to be investing in, it's going to only bring losses for you, because then you're not going in the right direction. So direction is more important. That direction can only be driven through the problem. You have identified the problem and you have identified the solution. So that's what I would always give advice to all the entrepreneurs, that in the initial phase, don't think about how much profit, how much margin I'm going to be creating. It first, you be very strongly convinced about what problem you have identified, and is that problem common for all of them? Is it a mass problem what you're trying to solve? And is your solution, what you're providing it, is that the solution which is the final solution to be given out to the mass crowd? Then automatically your profit and loss answer will be given out.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Even we believe that rather than profits, it should be your idea that you should believe in. And the ultimate aim should not be profit, but solving a particular problem in the society so that everybody can benefit from it.
Right.
Moving forward, a philosophy that I really admire is that when you encounter failure, tackle it head on and learn from your mistakes. Even though we always keep this in mind, if we fail once in life, there is always a feeling of despondency and dejection after a failure. So, whenever one faces failure, how can one keep himself or herself positive and remain composed and become more motivated to do something in life further on?
Right. Right. So, see, as I said, the life, as you all started off this interview, you were saying it's a roller coaster ride what we are in, right? So the failures and success are bound to, for any individual person to be bound to be facing in this whole lifetime. So first of all, we should not get demoralized. We should take the bull by the horn. That's an attitude what we need to take it up. It's okay. I mean, there are times we'll go down, but even if you go down, that's where the life teaches you a lesson that, what were the mistakes what we had done. So that we don't repeat that mistake in the upcoming challenges or upcoming tasks what we'll be doing it. So first thing is we should be able to learn from the mistakes. Second point will be in terms of having a positive mindset. Don't Let's not get into a negative phase that, oh, I can't do it, it's not possible for me to do it. We need to remember, we started learning walking by ourselves when we were a kid, right? There were times when we walked and we had fallen down, and again we got up and again we started walking around when we didn't knew how to speak. So that motivation of fighting or having that spirit of fighting has been there from the time we have been born. So we all are fighters by birth. That spirit should not go down. I mean, problems are going to come, the challenges are going to come. Only thing is you need to keep lifting up yourself and you need to keep fighting towards what your goal is. You need to be very clear about what your goal is, what you want to do. I mean, if you want to become an entrepreneur, then just aim at your goal. If you want to be an athlete, if you want to be a cricketer, you want to be a doctor, dentist, whatever your game plan is at the end. Let me talk in your lingo. Then that is what your focus should be, and you will automatically see the motivation starts coming in. I mean, you don't need a self motivation. You will be always be inspired. You're gonna fall down again. You're gonna get up and you're gonna say, "No, I'm gonna do it, whatsoever happens." Because that's your end goal. So it's an attitude, belief in yourself, and it's having a right attitude, taking the problem by bull by the horn.
Definitely. So I'm starting to really relate all this and all your experiences with when I'm solving mathematics problem. When I even fail in solving a particular maths problem, I I try to solve it for hours and hours, despite of how much other work I have, and that's really relatable to what you are saying and your experiences.
Right.
Now, coming to the next question, from your journey that we have heard of, it was very evident that you took a lot of risks in life. So, what will be your advice for the young generation about taking risks in life, and to what extent do you think it is feasible to take a risk, and when one should stop taking a particular risk?
Okay. So now, Himanshu, there are couple of things. Okay. First thing is stop taking risk. Um, I would say that this life is completely filled of risk only, right? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen next, correct? So first thing is when we talk about taking risk, there are 2-3 factors which comes in my mind. One is a calculative risk, and one is something we blindly jump into certain things. So I would say avoid jumping into certain things blindly. Be more calculative about certain things, right? When you are, for example, if you are preparing for your mathematics exam, you know very well there are 15 questions are going to come. So you're going to take a risk with the 5 questions because you know that 10 questions minimum I need to attempt to reach up to my 60 to 70% of my marks. So you have already calculated your risk. Am I correct? Now, blindly, you will not get into it that, okay, fine, no, 15 questions, let me try whichever question I'm going to get. So you always need to be very calculated about, what kind of, in certain situations, you might not get that kind of privilege, but most of the situations, be more analytical. Because the minute you become analytical, then your percentage of failure starts reducing down. That's where your predictive analysis become more stronger. So if you are analytical about the situation, you know how the situation is going to really turn out to be. Then in that case, your judgment based on the situation is going to really help you to take the right judgment. So you are taking the risk, and at the same time, you are going in a more calculated manner. But on the other hand, Manshu, there are certain situations which is going to come where you need to believe in your gut feeling, that should I be jumping in? Should I be taking this risk or not? On the other hand, I'm going to say that please do not avoid, that I should not take a risk. The minute you say I'm not going to take a risk, your life becomes very monotonous. The opportunities which are going to be there for you, then you are just knocking out all the opportunities around you. So that's my take on the risk taking.
Yes, sir, certainly. I think the biggest risk in the life is to not take a risk and just continue with the monotony of the life, because that makes life very boring and then you're not living it to the fullest. So that's all for the questions. Thank you so much for being with us today. It was a very enriching experience for our team, and we will certainly keep all that you told us in our mind in the future and try to implement that into our lives. Personally, I find it very commendable that despite so many challenges you faced, you achieved so much in life. So, this entire interview was a very wonderful, a very stimulating, a very motivating experience for our team. And I hope that the audience, when they listen to it, they will be able to gain from this as well. So, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Bhuvi. Thank you, Himanshu. I must really appreciate the kind of initiative what you all have taken up. And, I really wish all of you, your team and your audience, everyone, very wish you all the very best. Keep yourself safe and keep having that inquisitive mind. Curiosity is going to take you to the peak of the Mount Everest.
Yes, sir, certainly. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening ahead. Thank you.